Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Fiume, here live at the IFA2024 National Convention, and looking forward to interviewing some folks at this year's event. I am with Greg Carafello from Cartridge World America. Greg, how are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Great, thanks for being on. So I think we all know what Cartridge World is, but would you share with the audience what you guys do?
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people know who we were, but things have changed. We've been in business for 30-something years now, 32 years. U.S. for 21 years. We came into the U.S. as retail model, where you're sitting in a 1,200 square foot location and people are coming in. You had to oil the door because people kept coming in so often, and that changed. So now the business model is completely B2B, business to business. You're going after auto dealers, you're going after CPAs, lawyers, medical, school systems, universities, libraries, people like that have laser toner products, color, monochrome. And what you do is you work from either your home or you work from a small office or you work from your present business, wherever you have it. So it's no longer the retail model. We still have about 90 retail models, and we have 30 of what we call the executive office model, which is our new version. And that's where it's very low overhead, very low operating costs, very low labor, getting business fast, and it's all under $75,000. And it's a repeat business. And we have contracts with our clients. So if we give you our signature dish is what they call no-cost printer program. So we'll give you the razor. We want you buying the blades. We want the toner sales. There's no secret, right? It's not rocket science. But we'll give you printers. We don't care if it's one. We don't care what brand. We don't care one-sided, two-sided, color, monochrome black. We could care less. We're going to give you 1 or 10 or 100 printers. You're going to use them. We're going to service them for 3 years, so it's worry-free, if you will. We monitor when you're low on toner, so when you're 20% low, you don't have to go panic mode when you run out. We deliver to you, and that's a 3-year agreement. So our franchisees get a 3-year agreement, but if you get hundreds of them, you continue to build. And what we find is the retention to the client is over 90%. So when you give them a free printer, there's very high loyalty. So they'll stay with you, even with an agreement. It's a one-page agreement, so it's not like a legalese kind of thing. It's a handshake saying, please buy toner from us. But we find a very high level of success with that model. And that's the new Cartridge World, if you will. Nice.
Greg, how many IFAs is this for you now?
Wow, this has got to be over 20. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's all good, but it's I always get something out of the IFA. It's like any industry, like any business. You gotta put your effort in. If you get one idea, it's a home run.
Absolutely. So is there anything, do you have a different objective for this year's IFA or something you're hoping to get out of this one?
Getting out of this one, I just wanted to see some of my contacts, some of my friends, and make new friends, obviously, new people in the industry itself. Because when I took over as president of Cartridge World, you have a whole new goal in mind, is to make sure we rise ships all across the nation, as opposed to my master franchise, which was 10 or 11 states. So we're trying to do all that and get the best tools we can from the IFA show.
That's awesome. So I interview a lot of founders of emerging brands or people getting started. Can I ask you, if you had to give somebody a tip, if you had to give me a tip, and I was new and I was aspiring to be in franchising, what's maybe one tip you'd give me?
Looking at the franchise or making it successful?
Making it successful as a franchisor.
Oh, as a franchisor?
Yeah, say I was an aspiring franchisor. What advice would you give me?
What I would say to every franchisor is one thing. I've owned my own businesses before I was in franchising. You take care of your client. Your client is the franchisee first. And the end user is also your client, so they have to be taken care of. But if you support and serve your franchisee, they will give it through to the end user, and your business will be sound.
That's great advice, Greg. Thanks so much for being on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.